Okay, so to go over 2.1.2, some of the things that I noticed, there's a little bit confusion. When we want to find growth in the table, so for growth in the table, we always want to be looking right here along our Y column, but we need to make sure that X is increasing by 1. So when I look at this table, the Y is increasing by 3. As X is increasing by 1. So growth is going to be 3. The y-intercept in a table is the value of y when X is 0. Y-intercept is when I go to graph this line, it's where it crosses the y-axis. Okay, so the equation for this one will be y equals 3x plus 5. Couple things in that equations need a y equals, and then remember we started talking about 3 is your growth, that's your m. 5 is your y-intercept, that's your b. Y equals mx plus b. So make sure that you have the y equals as well. That would be the equation for that one. So this one was a little bit different. The growth, even though it's decreasing, it's still growth of -6. But I didn't have the 0 column in here. So you're going to have to work backwards to figure out what the value of y would be when X is 0. So if I'm subtracting 6 each time, that means to go backwards, I would add 6. So your equation for this one should have been y equals -6x plus 26. And notice how I'm writing this, that I always put the coefficient, that's called the coefficient, in front of X instead of behind it. All right, when we get to this table, we skip some. So you can see the growth right here is 4, the y-intercept is 6. So the equation should be y equals 4x plus 6. So the reason I put that in here is because things could be missing. So make sure that you're always looking at your X column when you're writing your equations. All right, when we start talking about tables, we want to put in a growth triangle. Now, someone said, well, what if there's no points? We're going to get to that one. Luckily, there's points. So our growth triangle, to find our growth, we want to look at the change in Y. So how much is it changing vertically over the change in X? How much is it changing horizontally? And you could make a table from this if you wanted to. But my growth here is I'm going to be going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So my growth is going to be 2. My y-intercept is right here where it crosses the y-axis. So the equation for this one would be y equals 2x plus 1. Plus 1, okay? And this last one, same deal. My y-intercept is right here. That doesn't change. Notice my y-axis. So my y-intercept is going to be 3. Now, I know there's no points on this, but you could put points because you look at the lattice points. These are lattice points right here. So you want to look where the line crosses a lattice point. So it looks like it crosses right here at 1, 1. So to go from point to point, I'm going to go down 2 and over 1, down 2 and over 1. So my slope is going to be y equals -2x, and my y-intercept is going to be 3. This right here is my y-intercept. This is my x-intercept. We'll talk about x-intercepts this year, but when we start talking about linear equations, we're really looking at the y-intercept. Okay, hope that helps.